And without any further ado, here is new product time, lady.
Oh, wow.
All right,
Here,
first
take
up.
my guns.
Yeah, well, I'm going to start off first. We're adding more and more SKUs of EagleCAD. So if you are at a school and you have a .edu address, this is a requirement from EagleCAD, you can get the educational version. It comes with the auto router, the layout, and the schematic editor, and I think
it's like standard. It's like the standard. I can't keep the track of all the.
So people have
But it's a
asked.
lot.
Yeah, people are at schools or they teach, and they have a .edu address and an account. Get on it.
It's like half price something, but
Yeah.
you do have to log in. Your account has to be a .edu address.
Yeah, that's a
your
requirement.
email. That's how we know. So even if you have another account,
Yeah.
you have to change it to a
You
.edu.
can just you can just buy it. Use a guest account on the way out. That's another way.
But you have to use an edu email.
Yeah.
That's how we. That's the rules.
Okay, next
There's
up,
rules.
we talked about this real quick, but we have the coming soon pages. They'll be here soon.
Sign up?
Yeah, so sign up. Next up, big announcement today. We have a bundle pack in the App Store with Apple. So you get Circuit Playground and Mohs Resistance. Basically,
Yeah, that one.
it's basically like 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
Yeah, so really big deal. For those of you who don't know what these apps are, Circuit Playground is the best engineering calculator suite in the world.
That's right. Colin Cunningham wrote this.
That's
It's
right.
amazing. It's a lovely app. It's got it's got those quad op amp pinouts you can never remember, which is the inverting and uninverting. It's got like AVR pinouts. It's got calculators. It's got resistors. It's got
it has
capacitor
everything.
codes. It's like everything.
And
like,
then
really, chock full.
Mohs Resistance is a game that you can play. It's for young people, but adults play it quite a bit, and it's to learn resistor values. And since we haven't played this video in a really long time, here is what Mohs Resistance is all about.
Oh yeah, it's really.
This is Mo. Mo. There he is. Mo is a resistor who needs your help to complete circuits.
No, I don't.
Actually, yes. Yes, you do.
I do?
You can't change your resistance on your own, can you?
I guess I could use a little help.
Right then. Cue the iPad. Set Mo's resistance to the correct values to complete each circuit. But be careful. An incorrect value will unleash the dreaded blue smoke monster. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Or play with a friend as you race against time in versus mode.
Excellent.
Nice work, Adabot. Now, it's your turn to set Mo's resistance.
Right on.
All right, so don't forget too, there's a coupon code inside of Circuit Playground, so you even kind of get everything for free if you get the app bundle.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so next up, what are these, Lady Ada?
These are weird. That these are what I call IDC Breadboard Friends because they have no formal title. And this is basically the thing that you're like, wow, that's so handy because I have these IDC cables because it's such a common cabling system used in electronics. And you want a breadboard with it, and there's no way to do that because the IDC cable does not, there's a gap in the middle of the breadboard. So this is 2 parts. There's on the right, you see there's like a sockety part with the legs that come out like a little centipede. And then there's a male header that plugs into it. It's actually 2 pieces that I'm kind of abusing. And then what you can do is then plug into a breadboard and you just plug in the IDC cable on top and you basically have a breadboard friendly IDC connector and you don't have to solder anything. Also works great with, of course, Perma-Proto or any other breadboard system that expects 0.3 inch split chips, which is the most common size chip, so pretty much any kind of breadboard. We have the multiple sizes. I think this is 2x13 or 2x16, which I thought was pretty handy. Which is nice and big. Oh, that's right. The 2x16 was one. This is 2x13, I think. I don't even know. Basically, we have all these sizes. We have one that's basically a Raspberry Pi Model B. And then we have like a 16-pin one, which is really good for our LED matrices. And you can cut them down with diagonal cutters, but they're not like break apart, so that's why we have multiple sizes. This is a 10-pin one, good for like, some JTAG connectors and such. And then we have a 2x3 pin, which is really good for like AVR programming. And I can show it on the overhead.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of it's a weird thing.
I get what it is now. I understand. Because it's a pain in the ass to like have to take your cables and then like stick pins out of them to get them onto the breadboard to do stuff. So now
Right.
you can just make like a socketable breadboard.
Yeah, it's definitely. Well, hold on, let me see if I can. Does this tilt back?
What are you trying to do?
Okay, never mind. I thought that tilted back, but it does not.
Do you-
So yeah, you have the two pieces that plug in together. I just want to make it brighter, but I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. You've got these two pieces.
Yeah, that's pretty bright.
Yeah, that's where it's going. You've got this like sockety part, and then you've got this header part. You just plug them in together, so like that, and then basically you've made, a 0.1 inch connector, a dual connector into a 0.3 inch, and then you can plug it into a breadboard. It doesn't have super long pins, but like as long as you're not like yanking on it, it should be fine. And then you can just plug it in like that. So like it's really handy, and whoa. And it's also like really easy to use. Just have to like plug it in properly and not like move it around. And then of course it also works with PermaProto. I just want to show like, you saw it on the other side. And like, it's not like the best solution. The best solution is to use like a soldered adapter of some sort. But if you don't have one, it works really good. Like this is one that's basically like the poor woman's Raspberry Pi connector. So you can use the Raspberry Pi header to
that's
plug it in.
cool.
You don't need a cobbler, especially
Yeah.
if you're plugging this into a breadboard and then you're moving it onto a PermaProto. So you're like, I don't want to like get a cobbler and then it's like big and chunky. This is just like super simple and low cost.
Yeah.
So just plug it in
Okay.
and snap it into place, and it'll just snap in. And there you go. So it's kind of an interesting hack, and people were asking us about these connectors, and I was like, okay, this is a good idea, but I want to use it in a different way. And then you can also just use the female part, the socket part, as like a pass-through header as well. If you want a pass-through connection for dual IDC connectors, which is where I think they're better used
Okay.
in this style.
Next up, we got to turn up the heat here. What are these?
These are fancy style LED.
Oh, fancy LEDs. We're like a fancy LED company now?
This is fancy.
I didn't get
These
that memo.
We had plastic ones, I think, last week. These would be
Oh.
metal ones. This is 8mm, which I'm showing with a through-hole like NeoPixel compatible. Oh no, can we just go through?
Oh, you just want to look at
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Can you go back to the first image? Yeah, so it's the 8mm, and then you can see it's metal, and it's like a multi-piece attachment, so it's more expensive.
Okay.
But it's like this beautiful looking,
Oh.
and you can attach it to like up to like 1/4 inch thick, I think, material. You get in a pack of 5, and it comes as like this metal screw part. The metal nut, and then the mounting part, and then the plug that goes in the back.
Okay.
And then we also have 5mm, and we have these in a couple different sizes. This is like a conical style, which is less expensive.
Yeah.
And then we have like this, it's kind of a basic, and then we have this really nice convex
Wow.
style. Because that has like all these different samples. I'm like, oh, these are all good. I can decide which one. And then we have like this kind of wide concave style. So different styles for different looks.
Yeah, this
can-
is super cool.
Yeah, I'll show them off on the overhead now because I wanted
Okay.
to. It's hard to show them off like really well, but I'll just like have like you can see like it's mounted, and then this plug kind of like is what keeps the LED in place. And then you can also use like super glue, and then you can see it's kind of a nice reflection, and it keeps the light very directional. That's kind of what the metal ones are good for, because they're reflective. Let's put this one in. So yeah, this one is kind of like the basic one. And these are basically a solution for like, you have LEDs and you want to attach them to something, and like LEDs are really hard to glue without a nice mounting
This
system.
is like the most luxury LED throwaway you could ever
Yeah, so
create.
we have them in plastic, and then I can't really demo the NeoPixel because I don't have a NeoPixel setup, but yeah, it's like basically very similar to the red one. But of course, it's a NeoPixel, so it can be multiple colors. And you don't get the LEDs, but it works with like any LED of that size will work.
Okay.
And then if you need to, you might have to use a little bit of glue, like super glue, just to keep the LED like super tight in, because depending on the flange in the LED, you might have to push it a little bit harder, or it might be a little loose. But you know, like a teeny bit of glue, even like
Okay.
Elmer's glue, will keep them in place. But these are very nice, and they're not fake metal plastic. They're actually copper, bronze chromed, brass
Yeah.
chromed. They're like a copper alloy, so they're not stainless steel, but they are fully metal, and they look very nice.
Okay, next up, one of our most popular projects using the Trinket and what's in the Trinket book. Where'd the Trinket book go? Didn't you have it a second?
I don't know if we have the Trinket book.
No, I put it over here.
Really?
I think it fell down.
Oh.
Anyways,
Imagine the Trinket book.
one of our most popular projects is now a kit. LED goggles. So if you wanted to make these, we saw these at Comic-Cons, we see these at Maker Fairs, we see these on Show and Tell. We now have a pack, so you too can make your own.
And it's a deal. It's like $10 off if you buy the pack.
So if you were to buy all the parts, it would be more expensive than if you get the pack. Here they are.
Vance,
in
who's
action.
kidding, showing them off.
Yep.
I like how he's like holding that smile like perfectly, so you can't tell that he's
Yeah,
he's actually
well-
moving, but he's like so still.
Yeah, we have this software that what it does is if you can do a video and stay still, you can scrub out where only the motion is, and then you can do those cool animated graphics that we have on our homepage now. So I'll let you
Yes, sir.
I'll let you demonstrate those now.
I'm showing off his goggles from like Vance. So this is just the basic demo,
Yeah, that's
and we
cool.
have also a demo that has like these little eye-looking things in a rainbow demo. So there's a couple of different examples, and of course you can program your own. And the kit comes with these costume goggles, 2 NeoPixel rings, a Trinket battery, and a battery charger. So you get like everything you need to rock out and make this project. You need a little bit of soldering skills, but luckily you do not have to be good at soldering. It's like pretty basic.
Yep.
And since we revised the NeoPixel rings to have more connections, it's a lot easier to make this kit. So you don't have to splice any wires.
And this is
there's a book.
book. Mike Barella, who is here on Ask an Engineer and Show and Tell, he wrote Getting Started with Adafruit Trinket, and this is one of the many things that you can do with the Trinket.
And yeah, we don't suggest these for looking through because like the electronics are in the eye cups. I mean, you could make them in a way that you can kind of look through them, but it's not suggested because
Lots of people do.
your vision's not so good. So just be aware of that. We designed these to put on a hat or on your forehead as part of a costume, like a steampunk costume with LEDs. And it's a really great Trinket introduction. So check it out, especially if I've seen a lot of people build these now. We have a great pack, has everything you need with a rechargeable battery, and Phil B updated the instructions, and it's a great learning project.
Yeah.
And you can wear these all the time. This is like heirloom electronics.
Okay, Lady Ada, we gotta move.
Wear these for life.
Gotta keep
Okay.
moving.
Yeah,
we got this screen.
It's a big monitor.
It's a really big monitor and super sharp.
It's really, really high res
Yeah.
monitor. I'll just hold it up because I can't really show it on the overhead. But I have it hooked up to the Raspberry Pi. It's out of focus because it's not at the focal point. Oh wow, so the reflections of reflections. It's a really beautiful IPS monitor, so you can see it from like any angle. Ooh, like wide angle display. It's basically like a laptop, a really high quality laptop monitor, but a laptop display made into a monitor. It's got speakers built into it. It works with like pretty much everything. Like I'm using it with the Raspberry Pi, but it works with BeagleBone. It works with my Xbox. It works with anything that wants TV out, and it's pretty high res. It's like 1366 by 768, so it's 1080p. It's a 10-inch. Sorry, it's 720p. It's a 10-inch screen. It doesn't have a touch screen, but it does have speakers built in. So if you have something that has HDMI audio, you can plug it in and it will like have audio come up. And it's a good time. It's a nice big monitor. We have smaller ones, but this one is like really fancy. But it's not as big as like a huge desktop monitor. So this is good for when you're doing a small installation. You want to like tuck a monitor into somewhere, or you want to have this like, you know, in a car computer or something where it's not going to be 17 inches or like 20 inches.
Yeah.
It's like 10.
Okay.
It's a big-
Next up, we're almost there. Just a couple more products later. What is
Okay.
this?
These, this and the next one are little GPIO breakout shower offers. They show which pin is what on the Raspberry Pi. So that one's the Model B, and this is the B+, which has more pins. And they slip on to the GPIO header, but it's very thin, so you can still plug in female socket headers. And we actually, this is totally, like, I stole this idea from Low Voltage Labs. They did such a good job with the B version, and I contacted them and I said, these are really, really great. We want to put these in their kits. Can we like work out a royalty with you? And
Yeah.
they said yes, and we're like, yay! So these are, the design is pretty much from Low Voltage Labs. Check them out. They did an excellent job. We're just manufacturing them to basically the same specifications. and they're going to be going in a bunch of low-cost Raspberry Pi kits where a cobbler might
Yeah,
be too big.
they made these. They're open source, and they said anyone can run the files or do whatever. But we wanted to reward them, so what we do is we give them a royalty based on the sales of these.
Yeah, and he's
So-
like, I don't want to make these all day either. So if you
Yeah.
guys want to, like, better for you. So I can shit
Yeah.
on your head really fast. Just how it works. So you have, this is just a Model B, but the B Plus is basically the same idea. And it won't fit backwards, like this connector's in the way. No, it won't fit. So you don't have to worry about putting it upside down. And it only really fits in one way. And then it still has plenty of space for plugging in wires. So you can plug in these wires on top. And it's easy to tell which wire you're trying to plug into, because especially once you get to the B Plus, like there's 40 pins. It's hard to remember like which one is which. I don't even remember them. So this is it's basically a handy way to use to plug in premium cables.
Okay.
Much easier than a cobbler, but you don't use a GPIO cable, instead you plug in directly. So we have them B and B Plus.
Okay, next up, second to the last product. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. This is the multi-protocol USB GPIO chip.
I know. There's like no fancy name for this. This is the FT232H Breakout. This is a collab between me and Tony DeCola. Tony DeCola loves this chip, and I was like, that's a good idea. It's a chip from FTDI, and it sounds like the FT232RL or B, which you may be familiar with, the USB to UART chip. This is kind of similar, but it's even more so. Instead of just doing USB to UART, it does USB to UART, but it can also do SPI, I2C, and just basic GPIO. It's 3 and 5 volt compatible, so it's like you can use it with just about anything. And it's kind of what we think of as a really good glue logic chip, because you can use Python. There's Python libraries for it, and there's also C and C++ libraries. We like to use Python. And you can use Mac, Windows, or Linux to communicate with this chip and then quickly interact with I2C or SPI devices without having to like set up an Arduino and open up the Arduino IDE. If you want to just write the code raw in Python, like turning on LEDs or connecting to NeoPixels or displaying something or reading an I2C sensor, this is kind of a fun chip. I know it's like it's a really vague description. It's like, what is it? It's not a microcontroller. It's this kind of bridge between USB to other stuff, but it's nice because there's just drivers for all these operating systems, and it's just like, it's so general purpose. I figured like people will come up with their own uses.
I think it's neat that you can use a full-blown computer with Python to do the same stuff that you would maybe use a microcontroller for.
Yeah,
Neat.
I wanted to call this like the modern parallel port, because computers used to have parallel ports where you would be able to do GPIO input-output, because parallel ports was just like a parallel 8 pins high, 8 pins low, and you could twiddle them. And you can't do that anymore. So you could use them for like SPI or like basic I2C for like old school programmers. I remember we still have a couple like EEPROM programmers that use fake I2C over the parallel port. No computers have parallel ports anymore, but this chip can do it.
Would this be good if someone had like one of those really cheap netbooks and they wanted to get like sensor information in? Would it be?
Yeah, totally. Like anything where you want to you don't want to get an Arduino involved, because it's like you have to pass data back and forth. It gets confusing. This lets you do the raw data just in Python.
Yeah. Okay.
That's an interesting chip.
All
Check it out.
right. And Nimbus, the cloud entity, is here. And do you know why?
Why?
Because we have an Internet of Things product to share.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thanks, Nimbus.
Yeah. So today, a big day for Spark.io. If you go to their website, Spark.io, introducing the Photon. It's a $19 postage stamp size hackable Wi-Fi module for interacting with physical things. One of the cool things about it is they have some launch partners. We are one of them, and we made an Adafruit Spark NeoPixel ring kit for $25. It is coming soon. It's not for sale right now. The Photon is shipping in March, $19. The Spark Core right now ships immediately. It's $39. And here is our product. It looks beautiful.
Yay! I'm just demoing it with the Spark Core here, which is like the really easy to use web programmable Internet of Things device. It's like a super easy. It's a great system. They did such an excellent job with it, and they've updated it to be even better with the Photon. It's like half the price and like more powerful even, and it's almost completely backwards compatible. So you can develop something with a Core and then upgrade to the Photon when it comes out in March. So this is the thank you. This is the Spark Core that's plugged. I don't want to unplug it because I don't.
Yeah.
It'll reset and take a while. But it plugs into these socket headers, or you can just solder it directly in if you'd like. And there's breakouts for all the pads on the sides. Maybe I'll quickly just go here so you can see there's these breakout pads, so you can get to all the pins, and there's more breakouts on the back. Ignore the glue thing that we used to stick it onto the table. Yeah, you can program it over Wi-Fi. You can power it over USB while you're developing. And then we added a plug so you can power it over AAA batteries, a couple AAA batteries, or like a big LiPoly battery or a smaller LiPoly battery. And this is basically our NeoPixel ring, and it has a level shifter, so it's this 3-volt logic, and it'll convert up to 5 volt to make it friendly for the NeoPixel. And this is like 10% brightness, so it's really, really bright. I don't want to blow out the camera because I'm trying to learn my lesson not to do that.
Yeah.
But you've got 24 NeoPixels, and
What's amazing, this is Wi-Fi controllable NeoPixels.
rings.
Yeah,
and it looks great. And you got mounting holes, so we might actually get this out in the store before the Photon, just because the Photon is a little bit more complicated to do. It's like a big project, whereas this NeoPixel ring is kind of like, it's like the NeoPixel ring we already have plus a couple extra parts. And so we did this as a partner project with Spark.
Spark.io.
They partnered exactly the way I like to do it. They're like, here's the Eagle Cat object. Go make your thing. And I made the thing, and I'm like, this is schematic. This is okay. And they're like, oh, we're just doing this and this. And I'm like, okay, great. You know your platform better than I do.
Yeah.
Made a couple adjustments, sent out prototypes, came back, and of course it worked out the first time because it was like super sweet. And then I put it together. It didn't work. I put another one together. It did work because prototyping, and shot a photo, and it will be in the store in a couple weeks.
Yep. Great group of folks are nice. They're also Minnesota nice, which is extra special nice.
That's so nice.
Okay.
Don't you
So that is new products.